Lovely heretics, back to your favorite podcast, your two favorite apostates, Shadowhawk and Lightning Chief, are also known as Lucian and Dakota. How you doing today, Dakota? So, do you like SCP Foundation? Do you like the SCP Foundation? Do you like SCP?
Absolutely do. A wonderful little deep dive on them. I mean, we only have like 7,000 plus CP entries.
So here's a question: is it real? There's a lot of people who think it's actually an actual psyop by the United States government to cover up a real agency that does that shit.
So I wouldn't say that there's an actual agency that does it because it's not real. It started off in 4chan. Okay. So where it started off, it became some sort of community project and just took off.
Yeah.
And all of the different cryptids, eldritches, anything that could be an SCP became an SCP, and it's still being built, actually. The whole community project, it's still ongoing.
Yeah, no, I agree. My favorite thing about it is canon is what you want. It's a franchise and a universe meant to be. Canon is what you make of it. I love that from a storytelling perspective. Man, what's your favorite SCP? Like comedy wise, mine's the Interdimensional Strip Club.
Mm.
What's your favorite one? Both
I don't
comedy.
really have one for comedy-wise, but just the joy of watching people get lost is the IKEA.
How do you feel about the Bigfoot one?
Eh,
How do you feel about the
eh.
Bigfoot one? You didn't care for the Bigfoot one?
I didn't care for the Bigfoot one. I kind of like the Plague Doctor more.
Okay. What about the lizard monster that regenerates endlessly?
Oh, shoot. What? I honestly don't remember that one.
Yeah, another one I really like is the Scarlet King, of course. I like me a demonic elder god. You know me. I like me dark demonic elder gods.
Mm.
I really enjoyed the ones my favorite plot lines that got going are the Sarkics and the Davites. That shit fucks with your head. You know what I'm talking about? The book that rewrites history.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. I like the cults. I like the demons. I like the one where it's like the kingdom in the sky, the demon Okir or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like the freaking ancient history. I mean, look at me. I'm a fan of Lovecraft and Conan. Of course, I'm gonna love that shit. What's your take on what SCP Foundation story do you like the most? What plot line do you like the most? What's your headcanon look like?
So, honestly, most of it's so each individual SCP. And oh, jeez, what was it? The freaking cave that went to another world
Oh yeah.
is dead.
Yeah.
Aside from the Plague Doctor, who
Right.
then fought himself in that other world. Weird shit.
Yeah, my favorite one that's just fun to fuck with my brain just because of the nature of the universe is the giant cloning lab buried beneath Yellowstone Park. That you can reset the entire human race in a matter of weeks if you need to. You know the one.
Yeah.
That one fucks with your head. You know what's even more fuckery? The fact that it's happened at least 9 times in the history of the Foundation. That's a real.
I mean, that tends to happen when you have like half the SCPs that are like world-ending class SCPs are just chilling there for their own volition. They're bored.
And they don't fuck with you unless you fuck with them as a species. Yeah.
It depends on the SCP.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Scarlet King?
Let's see. Scarlet King.
The big demon elder god, demon daddy.
I know I've heard I've heard a lot about the Scarlet King. I don't know that much about the actual Scarlet
Well, there's
King.
a rumor the Scarlet King, a world-ending apocalyptic threat, like something out of the DC or the Marvel universe. The reason he could wipe out all reality, he literally has like demon sons, he pregnates women, and his cult literally like is trying to give birth to demon avatars from destroy the world. And that's another thing I love about it. As an Elder Scrolls nerd, I love the demon cults. But so you know what prevents him from being born into this reality and his child from being born, his Antichrist child? They perform an act that's so terrible, so horrendous.
If the meridian lens fails,
every day to keep his son from being born.
Well, that explains the D-class personnel.
Yeah,
and why it's a never-ending batch.
Yeah, no, I mean, how do you feel as a military operator? You're a former military operator. How do you feel about the SCP Foundation's like military structure?
The SCP Foundation's military structure is unique. I'll say that. It is unique. The way they have everything classified is they have specialists, which that actually military document or researchers and investigate. They also have scientists. They have the grant team. They have their research team. With a wonderful secret oath of records and a secret hierarchy.
Yeah.
So it honestly is really accurate to what we.
So it does work.
Thanks about the penny.
So it could exist. There could be secret operatives like that in the real world.
Yes.
Okay.
Although I don't think that this, as in SCP.
You know what I really like about the SCP Foundation? Their arch rivals, the UN-backed coalition.
That's like a driven Soviet start team all over it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the Global Occult Coalition?
Yeah. Just let the SCP Foundation do its job.
Yeah, you know what's ironic about the occult coalition? The fact that these guys literally are an actual military unit and they're so incompetent, they've actually almost started the apocalypse twice. Which I know how you feel about the United Nations, which I think you probably think is pretty accurate if that organization actually did exist.
Yeah. The United Nations doesn't solve anything. They don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. Incompetent as fuck. But we're not talking about politics in this. We're talking about our weird edgelord fantasies. This is a Halloween special, so we're gonna keep it that way. I mean, I think
and in the spirit of Halloween, not to kick you out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
But did you know that SCP is actually there is an SCP website?
Yeah.
With I think they're up to 9,000 SCPs now.
Okay.
We're damn close. But they're also partnered with one of my favorites, which is the Wanderer's Library.
Okay.
And when we're talking about that, it's one of those. Anybody who's heard about the Wanderer's Library knows exactly what it is.
Sounds something Lovecraftian.
It is very Lovecraftian.
Okay.
Very. I mean, let's see. Yeah, here.
Sounds very Lovecraftian. I'm dig. What's it about? Explain. Go further.
Okay. Wanderer's Library was also, like the SCP Foundation, a fiction exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a community project, but it kind of goes off a few basic premises. Some of them are dangerous, some of them are fascinating. All of them are extraordinary in some way. And it's things like a big game a hunter, right? You know,
Yeah.
Wisconsin hunting season's coming up in November.
Yeah.
So a hunter hunting in other worlds, for example.
Yeah.
Slipping through the between worlds.
Okay.
Or an SCP that hides itself inside an alleyway.
Okay.
Collecting trash.
All right.
So it's a less... How do I put it? It's more of the standard travel versus the SCP Foundation, where it's one of those, oh yeah, it's the difference of going to the Middle East with the military or going to the Middle East without the military.
I mean, I think my favorite SCP that's not like demonic or like elder is probably like I really like the one where they go to hell, where the SCP Foundation defeats the armies of hell. You know, the demon one. And that's because they know their lore. They know their lore of real world, like occult shit and religious shit, down to the detail. Like, I think my favorite nerd one is the one where, like, there's these gamers and they have, like, magical abilities. And, like, that's another thing I like about SCP Foundation is all the different factions of people with magical abilities. You know what I mean? Like, all the different occult groups. There's literally an SCP that's literally an old game, an old, like, a Nintendo cartridge that you can get your soul sucked into. I also like the nerdy, funny ones. Those are cool too. You anything you want to say to that?
I mean, if we're talking about the different things going on, because there's more than just the global occults that SCP Foundation is going against, or is kept competing with. Friggin'. I can't remember. I can't remember what SCP it is, but is it 55?
Yeah, and then there's all like the new age religions. There's literally a new age alien religion where these hippies got high on like this magical acid, got into a magical hippie bus, and they left to the Earth, and they've been going at 60 miles an hour trying to reach another solar system. Yeah, that one's funny as hell because I hate hippies, but also because there's these drugged out hippies who are dead and they're covered with drugs and like they're full of drug paraphernalia, and they're driving to another solar system in a magical hippie van.
At 60 miles an hour? Oh, jeez.
Oh god, dude!
Without some sort of mystical magic, that's going to take a long time.
You know what's that really cool though? They actually, since it's like a universe, anyone can add their like opinion to the wiki. Some guy literally made like a Imperium of Man Catholic Church SCP entity that goes into realities where there's a powerful Catholic presence in that world, and they use their abilities to get the people excited about Catholicism, and they create an Imperium of Man on Earth. And they fight alien, according to this SCP, in this universe this artifact came from. Their whole goal is to wipe out the universe of Xenos and unite all of mankind under a single religion.
Well, I guess the SCP is now candidate for Warhammer 40k.
No, I mean, dude, how much overlap there is with Warhammer 40k and the SCP Foundation?
Dude, the overlap between Warhammer 40k and just about everything similar.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And switching notes here, I mean, if you want a really good fantasy universe to get into, I'd really recommend World of Darkness, man. You gotta get into that.
Yeah.
There's literally an expansion pack called Hunter the Hunting. And you're literally role-playing as the Winchester brothers, chosen by God to hunt down the things that go bump in the night. Demons, vampires, werewolves. I gotta get my hands on that. I gotta stream that. And the company that made these games, they're actual cultists and neo-pagans. They literally made a game called Demon the Fallen, which is a game about demons possessing college students or Jesus freaks or like people got into the occult. And you play as a demon possessing this human being as a way of giving a massive middle finger to the religious Jesus freaks of the 90s freaking out about the satanic panic. How do you like that one? You know we both hate those people.
Very much. do not like those people.
Even though I'm technically, yeah. My favorite what's your favorite Halloween movie, if you don't mind me asking? What's your favorite horror movie? Mine's Evil Dead. Like the practical,
like,
yeah, shoot.
honestly, mind you, I don't really have a favorite.
Yeah.
There is most of your horror movies for me. They're jump scares, predictable.
Right.
They're not really that like
A Red Horizon,
good, in my opinion.
yeah.
But
Yeah, shoot.
and I'm not. If you're of someone who is not of extremely stout mental state, don't watch it. But As Above, So Below
You know that's
is like the one horror movie that sticks in my brain.
So I know what that phrase is from. I'm going to call it this in real life. You're familiar with that.
Yes, I am.
So I know the esoteric meaning behind that phrase. I know the esoteric meaning behind it, which is a mentality of where the inner reflects the outer reality. It's a meditative alchemy sort of phrase that's all about self-transformation. What does that translate to in the horror movie? I've never heard of it.
Okay, so As Above, So Below is premised around a group of friends in France, in Paris, actually, and they go into catacombs.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. That movie, yeah.
And then they go deep into the catacombs.
And they find demons, right? Undead.
And then weird stuff happens that if a movie could give you trauma, it would give you.
I mean, the movie that gave me trauma.
It's also.
Yeah. A movie that gave me trauma back when I was a kid was probably Legion. Not Legion, Dominion? The prequel, The Exorcist. That shit fucked me up. I mean, The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, The Exorcist movies in general are just really well done. They are good horror. I'm not a big fan of The Conjuring, though, dude. I'm not a big fan of The Conjuring. I think demon possession Exorcist movies have lost their touch in the last few years.
I think a lot of movies have lost their touch in the last few years.
Star Wars. But there is a good Exorcist movie that came out this past couple of years. I think it's with it's called The Pope's Exorcist, and it's based off the actual adventures of an actual exorcist from the 80s, who was actually the Vatican's head exorcist he headed that department in the 80s. They took some of his stories and they turned it into a movie. And this is where it gets really fucking weird and meta. Some of the stuff the whole plot of the movie, spoilers, is the demons are located in this old school they're located in an old manor that was the head of the Spanish Inquisition. And apparently the church is trying to keep quiet about this manor, was the church cardinal who led the Spanish Inquisition was possessed by a demon, a very powerful demon, and he used the church to create untold human suffering. And the church covers this up. That's what I really like about that. As someone who's formerly Catholic, I love how. Once again, I love settings where the church is kind of like a morally gray, obscure institution with its own agenda. Like a second Inquisition is on the way. There's ancient remains of aliens in the Vatican catacombs. I mean, in real life, what do you think we would find down the Vatican catacombs? Would you find ancient eldritch shit, in your opinion? What do you think people would actually find in the catacombs of the Vatican, if you had to give a guess?
Yes, and if we actually went bigger, so that depends on what we're referring to with catacombs, specifically. So if we're talking about the restricted area of the catacombs underneath, that is a low oxygen zone. It's the reason why it's a low oxygen zone is to preserve the texts that are in there. And mind you, you're talking 2,000, 2,700, 3,000-year-old manuscripts, parchment, like real parchment.
Yeah.
Which, that's not paper, and it decays fast. You know, I think they might even have some papyrus scrolls down there, which those are extremely brittle. But it's different manuscripts that if you had them out in the air, like if you take them out of a low oxygen environment, they basically fall to dust. They're that old.
Could there be like ancient knowledge down there that would completely destroy how we view history, in your opinion?
Possibly.
Okay.
It's entirely possible.
My money is they have like ancient. There's like ancient there's ancient pagan stuff down there that they don't want reaching the light of the
Beware,
sun.
stranger. The bloodthorn cult.
I could see that. I would say they have some of the earliest copies of the gospel.
Yeah.
They have some of the earliest copies of that I know of, and that they know of, or in the world of some manuscripts that didn't make their way into the Bible. And for a while there, through the Dark Ages, the church was the historical archive.
Yeah, monks were the ones that considered all the knowledge from the collapse of the Roman Empire.
Yep, they were the ones who could actually right.
And they didn't share that knowledge with the public, by the way. For any Catholic who might be watching, they didn't share that knowledge.
Correct.
Yeah.
They did not. They kept it because scribes are lucrative, and then they can control a narrative. So I'm willing to bet that there's some historical documents down there that would paint very different stories of certain events in history.
Yeah. So, going back to the horror aspect, what is your favorite cryptid in real life?
Ooh.
There's a lot of cryptids here in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, there's enough.
There's werewolves, there's witches. There's werewolves in Wisconsin, okay?
Shoot. What are they called? I don't really rate them as favorite. I rate them as least ones that I want to encounter the least.
Okay. I take the werewolf is not high on that list.
No. I'd take a werewolf over a skinwalker any day.
Indulge me. What is a skinwalker? Indulge the audience. What is a skinwalker?
The skinwalker it originated from the Navajo.
Yeah.
From the American Southwest. And it's usually described, like the Navajo described it as like a witch or a shaman that can shapeshift into different animals. They are blatantly malevolent. I wouldn't say that they're like humanoid witch. They're friggin' freaky as hell when they're in bipedal state, looking humanoid, but they're not human. And there's some creepy shit that they do. Which, for those listening, if you ever hear whistling in the woods, walk away. Just walk the other way.
Normally.
Don't run. Don't talk to it. Don't whistle back. Turn around and go home.
Some other SCPs that lurk in the American Midwest you'd want people to know about. I know there's a lot of witchcraft in this part of the country. A lot of witchcraft. A lot of.
I mean, some witchcraft. I don't know if he's actually been seen recently, but there was the hitchhiker on Highway 12.
Okay, I think I've heard of that.
Just not so much a malevolent one, just kind of like after him, it's a ghost of somebody hitchhiking down in Baraboo.
Yeah,
up in the Baraboo Hills.
I think my favorite, like, aside from the werewolf, there's a lot of occult stories I can relate to. You would not believe the occult shit that I've been dealt with in Madison, dude. I mean, I've had weird encounters with people who I have no doubt are possessed by dark demonic insanity. I've met people in a church that come off as possessed by insanity, like dark insanity. Like, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
They're twisted by like I walked into cathedrals once or twice in Madison, and I've sensed the bad mojo in the air. I've sensed really dark energies around people. State Street's full of crazy people, by the way. It's full of people that have psychic abilities that I've encountered who are just insane. I've encountered some really weird, creepy people on State Street the last few years. That just know things and are just, yeah, false prophets. I'll leave it at that. If you get that analogy, actual false prophets, people that speak insanity and know everything about you. But the house my grandparents lived in for like 20 years, after my grandmother died, ghosts started appearing. People started seeing faces in the mirrors. My grandfather saw people walking around. He saw faces. He's according to him, he was talking to people while no one else was around.
Spirits of the dead.
I
haunt this
remember
place.
seeing things and feeling things around me in the back of my mind. Every time we went to the basement, not just me, but also my mom and my sister, I also felt like there's something down here that doesn't want us down here. I saw faces in the mirrors that looked like skull deformed undead. I'm not gonna lie about that one. Apparently there's a portal to hell in northern Wisconsin too. How do you feel about that one?
So I lived in northern Wisconsin. I'm quite perturbed about that.
You're familiar with what I'm talking about, huh?
I've heard some stories and it's been mentioned, but I don't know the specifics of it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's also people who apparently have seen like UFOs or glowing orbs in the swamps up there. Like either UFOs or orbs of light and energy that appear above swamps, and people just feel awed by them. But change topics. What is your favorite kind of like cryptid? Like, are you a beast guy, or are you like a ghost guy, or a demon guy? And you have any interesting examples to give?
Yes, I do have some interesting examples to give.
Indulge.
So I'm more of a beast humanoid cryptid human,
Okay.
if you will, or those are the ones that I focus on.
Like Mothman?
Ghosts are easier to deal with. No, well, yes, like the Mothman, but also like the little people.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
I don't mean the
Yep.
dwarfs, I mean the little people. The
What about Goatmen?
satyrs. Those aren't technically satyrs.
Beastmen, like Beastmen.
Yeah. Nah. Nah.
Yeah. My favorite, if it's not a demon or a poltergeist thing, it's probably gonna be like the Beast People. Like apparently there's like talking reptilians down Louisiana people have seen. Like talking reptile versions
So
of
the
Bigfoot.
lizard men are real. See, I told you. Sometimes conspiracy theories are real. That one is probably not.
What, lizardmen?
Lizard men
They're not real,
in
huh?
Louisiana.
Probably not real.
Probably not real.
I'm not sure we can win this battle.
Okay, what about
But I also wouldn't put it past Louisiana.
what about Chupacabra?
But, honestly, knowing some of the stuff with that particular region of the world, I would be willing to bet that it originated as some dude that was high as hell, spotting a coyote at night, doing something.
What about what's your take on werewolves? Could those possibly exist?
Okay, so where if we're talking about pure lycanthropes, that in theory, yes, that could be Bigfoot.
Okay.
If we're talking like the Twilight style, just for more modern reference, where it's a human that transitions.
Twilight. Don't get me started on Twilight.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Okay. I think there's like stories of vampires though. There are some convincing evidence for like vampiric stories throughout the world. You think anything
Yes,
about vampires?
and
Indulge us.
so about the vampires, actually, think of it this way. For some reason, there's a hypothesis floating around about humanity is not the most dominant creature on the planet. That there's actually a predator, because right now we really have no true natural predator, and we're basically an invasive species. We can live in just about any environment. We do live in just about any environment.
Yeah.
It was extremely fast. We take a ton of resources from the surrounding area. Invasive species, right? You take some marks. The hypothesis is that it's waiting for the planet to get to a certain population level before they reemerge.
Is tell stories according to it.
Like they'll just wake up at some point and then slowly, over a very short period of time, humans just kind of get eaten and die off.
Yeah, that's a very Lovecraftian theme. Like, there's hidden creatures in the bowels of the abyss. How realistic do you think the Cthulhu idea is? Like, ancient elder beings in the most darkest, obscure places of the earth, or somewhere beyond Earth, just waiting for the moment to wake up and will be erased like that. Cosmic horror. Is that realistic?
Okay, I'm going to. For that, I do have to make one very clear thing. When we're talking cosmic horrors, we're not talking the laws of physics and science that most people think of, which is the physical, tangible, you can touch it type science.
Yeah.
When we're talking that, we're talking closer to the quantum side of science. And quantum physics breaks all of physics rules, including the laws of thermodynamics.
Yeah.
It's another dimensional level. We can observe. We know it's there. We found it. We proved it. It does exist. But we cannot perceive it in our native form.
Okay.
So you call it a fourth or fifth dimension. Knowing that exists, there implies that there is something inside that dimension that can see us like we're on paper. Or like how you would look at a stick man drawn piece of paper.
Like the upside down.
Looking at it.
From certain things.
Kind of.
So that the idea of a reality like that existing underneath our reality is very possible.
Yes.
And there could be other forms of life in these other dimensions, correct?
Correct.
Things that would not.
Another prime example would be you've played Destiny 2, right?
Oh yeah, I love Destiny 2.
Do you remember there's a mission where you're going through it and the Queen of the Awoken sends you into another plane, and that's where the Taken move around in?
Familiar.
Okay, so that's also possible.
Okay.
Being shoved into another dimension, which is what that was, and put that into the game. So there's that too. So there's all sorts of crazy stuff that's possible.
The more you open your mind to cosmic reality and the like we were saying, laws of physics and how in dimensional thinking, the more even the science itself is terrifying. If you know what I'm trying to say here. How insignificant we might be in the realm of the multiverse, and that what could exist beyond our comprehension and might just allow us to exist because we're a minor nuisance is terrifying.
Well, I mean, just thinking about But astronomical units is a prime example of that too.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize we have actual like units of measurement for space. Because putting all of the zeros behind for the miles starts getting rather cumbersome. I mean, we're talking like one AU, one astronomical unit, is 93 million miles. Wait, 93 million miles. To
93.
put it this way, that's the equivalency of, let's say, that each mile was $1. Most people know the size and shape of a dollar bill, right? Palletized on a 4x4 pallet, which is standard pallet, you're talking about building something bigger than a step than the friggin' oh, geez, why can't I remember that now? Skyscraper in New York, famous, older building, historical. Shoot, I'm not gonna remember that. It's massive distance, massive amounts of enemies, massive. So it's not just like, oh, higher realm, cool, whatever, it's facing stuff. No, it starts hurting the brain.
Yeah. Changing topics. I mean, this is we're going more on the more esoteric side of anthropology. What is your favorite, like, dark? You're familiar with, like, the Canaanite pantheon, the demon gods, Book of Enoch. How do you feel about that? Could there have been, like, ancient beings from other realities who so many millennia ago interacted with primitive humans and taught us, like, higher technologies and enlightened us? How do you feel about that theory? And by quote unquote enlightened, Prometheus was not enlightenment. Do you have any interesting theories you want to share with us about the Anunnaki, ancient things like Sodom and Gomorrah, like Tower of Babel, ancient technologies, and humans being obsessed with things coming down from the sky? You want to get into that?
So, all across the world, there is written history and general shapes and descriptions that match very closely with what we would associate with EVA or extravehicular activity spacesuits.
Yeah.
Ranging from tubes that would match the oxygen routing diagram for the amplification, to helmets, to different armor, to their different shape person entirely.
Yeah.
All around the world. With that being said, I don't know that it's actually other beings. That's one of the two theories that I entertain. I do entertain it as a actual theory because we've seen evidence of varying civilizations, ranging from the Toltecs to the Teotihuacan, and they just disappeared from that, to Atlantis and its disappearance, which also coincided with Tartarus, and then shoot.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
I really missing the names today, but city sacked by Spartans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a Brad Pitt movie about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, this is where the horror aspect comes in. I'm terrified of, like, some of the Babylonian myth. There's so many things that go into that mythology. There's eldritch is fucking hell. You want to enlighten us on some things you might know about that certain, like, mythology? And that gives you a little pause.
What are you doing?
That region.
Honestly, that's one of those ones that, like, you hit a certain point and you just kind of set the book down and walk away and try and forget.
all throughout there.
Damn it, I'm gonna have to take notes for that kind of stuff.
Give us a taste. Give us a
Most
taste. Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Alright.
When I look at like ancient Canaanite and Greek mythology, I see Lovecraftian elements. I see stories about Dagon. I see stories about the dark gods like Tiamat. You want to involve us in that? What could be there?
Well, let's go to... We'll hit up Tiamat first.
Yeah.
Tiamat was a dragon serpent goddess in Babylon.
Yeah.
Tiamat was considered to be a primordial evil. Like evil incarnate, spawns demon creatures, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, in Babylonian creation mythology, our wonderful little hook here is she was killed by Marduk, then used her body to create the universe.
Yeah.
So we have one thing there. Almost every single religion in the world, or every single area in the world, has some sort of underworld. Well,
Yeah.
Babylonians, or as we would call it today, Mesopotamian mythology is not any different. They have it. Souls are reduced to a shade, a shadow of a living being, erased of all memories. And you're an eternal shadow if you're an evil person.
Yeah.
So they do have some interesting shit there. And then we have just general Mediterranean shit, like the creep's obsession with the underworld.
Then
Where if you stay for too long, you get turned into a stone statue. Because and Hades was the ruler of the underworld, not the actual god of death.
Then you get into things like Moloch, you know?
Oh, God.
You want to indulge us in the demon sacrifices of Moloch and those cults? That's very Halloweenish. I want to elaborate on that. And your people annihilate those fuckers, by the way. Kudos to the Jewish people for wiping out the fucking demon cults.
Generally speaking, this is just one of those fun things with the Bible. If there's a city that's called out by name to be destroyed, it's usually because there's something really, really bad that was going on.
Talking about people that worship other gods, per se. We're talking about, like...
We're talking Sodom and Gomorrah. There was child sacrifice stuff going on there, which was surprisingly common throughout the life of the game at the time.
Then you get like Bahamut.
Sometimes they would do infants. Friggin' Moloch specifically, they would burn children in or on or next to or nearby in a fire pit the statue of Moloch for part of the ritual. So they're sacrificing children.
Do you think these were just like religious things that happened out of nowhere? Do you think there could have been some sort of outside creatures or entities that demanded these sort of things?
Honestly, I have no clue. I do know that similar shit happened around the world because we did have the was it the Mayans with the heart thing?
Yeah. And it's kind of weird. This is why
She's super good. American.
Yeah.
Every day they would kill someone, rip out their heart, and offer it as sacrifice so the sun would come against it.
Yeah, no, and once again, you know, like, I think the data gods themselves from ESO, Elder Scrolls, are highly inspired by these ancient pagan gods. Moloch Baal, Meru's Dagon, Persing. These guys were inspired by real-life, like, deities that exist in real pantheons.
Some of them took the name itself and just copy-pasted it.
Yeah. That's why I love the data from Elder Scrolls. These are real life. These are gods that people worshipped in real life and had real cults in the real world.
Dude, friggin' that Diablo. I can't tell you how friggin' awesome it was to kill Beelzebub.
How would one
Indulge
find
in
it?
Beelzebub. And
The
by the way,
tree is so
Nurgle is
high.
also canonically a real demon god.
Yes.
You want to indulge us with those two entities?
Beelzebub and Nurgle?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Nurgle's more your scene, but Beelzebub was varying descriptions. The Lord of Flies and
Most
the
important.
Lord of Glutton, specifically.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a giant fat god that can devour just about anything, with flies buzzing around as if little agents. That one was mainly fun because it's mentioned throughout history in the Bible, and when you take it to Diablo and they have something that actually represents the general structure of it, and
Yeah.
I mean Diablo 3,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Beautiful.
My favorite one, aside from Moloch, has to be Asmodeus.
Ooh, that's
You
good.
You want to indulge us with Asmodeus, the original Slanesh. Do you want to indulge the audience about the OG
So,
Slanesh? Asmodeus is what pantheon is he or they from?
Asmodeus appears throughout most of our monotheistic religions, so we'd be talking Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Specifically considered the demon of lust, that sometimes referred to as the king of demons.
So
In the Bible, Asmodeus killed 7 of Sarah's husbands. This is in the Apocrypha.
yeah, the Apocrypha.
Talmud cited, you could say, was tended to say that he was the malicious spirit of lust and destruction. Usually winged, humanoid, sometimes 3 heads, man ran both.
Yeah.
Usually a tail, usually holding a lance or torch.
Yeah.
These, in like more modern occult stuff, Asmodeus would be hallmarked by tempting humans with taboo desires, or just the general cult of madness, ruin, and death, which just
We're not talking about little Jimmy jerking off or anything. We're talking about like
no. We're talking about like, I don't know. It's Halloween. Let's take it to the max, shall we?
shoot.
Graphic content, and we're talking like Asmodeus tempting you into the forbidden desire of, well, you have incestual CP, you have some forms of cannibalism are very taboo. And the most taboo that we would think of, or that would kind of churn your stomach, would be killing, eating, and having a whole killing and eating children, basically.
Yeah, so we're talking about like on base Slanesh levels desire.
Yes.
Like excess to the purest, most unbelievable extent. Okay.
Moral indifference, pure chaos.
That kind of reminds me of Aleister Crowley. Hot take.
Oh, really?
Do you know the things he was into, dude? Do you know anything about that guy's history?
Honestly, I don't know that much.
So, as an early age, friends of mine have informed me about Aleister Crowley. I've known people who are former Thelmites. I know people who have had family who are Thelmites, and it is disgusting. It is terrible. And I'll tell you about what my friend Mark said about Aleister Crowley, which you laughed your ass off at that. So, Aleister Crowley preached a religion of spiritual nihilism, spiritual narcissism. Do as thou will fulfills the whole of the law. Crowley apparently at an early age was called by his own mother the son of the beast, the child of the horror of Babylon at a young age. The guy was a narcissist. He was...
Fellowship jobs!
And I'm not trying to offend anyone who's listening to this who might be polyamorous. I know there's ethical ways to be polyamorous. I'm well aware of that. But this guy was not ethically polyamorous. By any means. He cheated on his wife numerous times. He created a cult formed around sex and debauchery. Do as thou wilt fulfills the whole of the law. Meaning, if you're strong enough, you can do whatever you want. The law exists to be bent down by the strong and those who have the strongest will. Apparently, he got very high on ketamine and went into the Mojave Desert and talked to genies, Jen. Apparently, he was also very much into Egyptology and talked to Anubis. That's just the fucking... And that's just the fucking basics. He made his own religion around nihilism and hierarchy of who's the most powerful and who has the biggest dick. And I get why Crowley was doing what he did. He was coming from a very, like, closed-minded, extremely fundamentalist Christian church growing up as a kid. And wow and behold, why is it all these, like, fucking fucked up sorcerers come from, like, religious fundamentalist households? They go from one extreme to the other. It's like a common theme with all these people. Which is why extreme order and extreme, like, religious order just breeds the worst demons. That's my hot take. As someone who's been in both circles. No, but Elsa Crowley literally would get high off drugs and talk to, like, non-human entities. And he made an entire religion around this shit. Any viewpoints you want to express?
Sick, drug-addicted individual that, honestly... So we'll go with the ancient Egyptian part of this, of we should just strike his name from all history books and erase his very existence.
He literally, even in Thelema nowadays, and there's plenty of Thelema apologists who'll make arguments for it, the guy literally, women's role in Thelema is to...
Forge weapons to cut down the worm cult!
But not in, like, a servile way, but in, like, a sexual way. Yeah, it gets pretty fucked. I've actually had a friend of mine who works at a gas station. His sister was a Thelmite. There's some really crazy shit that happens in those circles.
Any extremist circle has some really crazy shit that happens in it.
Yeah, and they have a lot of higher... Why is it with all these esoteric circles, whether it be Masons, whether it be all these, like, Golden Dawn groups, why are they so associated with high, wealthy-ass men? It's almost always these cults are supported by very wealthy fuckboys. Let that tell you something.
Huh.
Yeah, no, that's something I've noticed. The people who go into the OTO, all these, like, Freemason, Illuminati groups, tend to be very intelligent, charismatic fuckboys with a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I can back that for some of them, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying all Masons are bad. One of my best friends is a Mason. Weirdly enough, he's also Greek Orthodox, which is weird. Yeah, no, my buddy who works at the gas station right next where I live, his sister was a Thelmite. And there's some fucked up shit that goes on in these circles. But I'm not going to bash all people who are part of this. Just saying I've heard things. I can't confirm this shit. Look it up for yourself. Research it. Make informed decisions. As I always say with any spiritual path, research the religion or spirituality you want to follow, not just what's on the freaking info box at the back of the video game, if that makes sense.
It is always okay to ask questions and to seek more. It is never okay for someone to tell you that you have to accept it as it is.
Yeah, no, Alex Crowley was fucked. I mean, he created a religion of spiritual narcissism and nihilism. Which, my buddy Munch should probably be a perfect Thelmite, I'm not gonna lie.
He probably had too much fun.
You know, here's a hot take. You know that book series I'm working on? Munch is the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley. How do you feel about that? Is that some good fucking shade or what?
Oh, dude. Oh, God. You hit that one. Oh, boy.
Yeah. But in closing, the two things I want to close up with this. What would you say for people who are interested in this whole this cryptid, occult, sort of shadowy form of life? Would you recommend it to people, and how would you recommend people getting into these topics? Whether it be esotericism or cryptid or esoteric anthropology. What would you recommend to people getting into these studies and these hobbies?
Well, if they're wanting to study esotericism, then they should start with the basics and understanding the history of all things.
Okay.
If we're talking cryptids, then yes, you want to look up to cryptids. That's normal. Going into some of the darker stuff, like the Aleister Crowley stuff, or like Asmodeus, look up the historical first, so you have a basis of what the culture was like.
Then the worm cult.
Otherwise, you will not fully understand. 95% of the time, I'll give a little wiggle room on that. You will not fully understand why that was a worldview. Why that may work in certain places or may not work in certain places. Because there are some things that are you could say regional magics and places where they worked, because they don't work elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's like two sticks trying to find water in the desert.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work.
The last topic I'd recommend, what are fun things you would recommend to people like us, like they can do on Halloween? That's not just the usual drunken partying and could be a very entertaining sort of edgelord occultist version of Halloween. People like us, what would you recommend for people like us to do during the holiday season of Gothtober?
During the holiday season of Gothtober, well, we can go back to one of my favorite games, Cards Against Humanity. There is an online version, Cards Against Humanity. There's an online version with a bunch of different packs. They have horror packs, they have eldritch packs, they have Crowley packs.
Oh god.
I think they even have the Winchester Saga packs.
Oh, sweet
There's
baby
fun
Jesus.
in there.
Hell yes.
They've got Star Wars, Star Trek, for all the nerds out there. Good stuff like that.
Yeah. I would also advise people not to get into freaking Ouija boards. Avoid that shit. And that's why I will tell anyone, don't get involved in that shit.
Don't mess with Ouija boards. Especially don't mess with them on Halloween.
Tarot cards.
Don't try to summon a demon. Don't.
Tarot cards are for the most part pretty safe. As long as you go in there with you're just using it for a psychology game.
Well, tarot cards are very safe because all they are is a form of divination. They originated in church.
Yeah. Well, Dakota, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it. Everyone, hope you all have a lovely Gothtober. Go out, have some esoteric adventures, get high, go commune with the spirits, and fuck Slanesh. Till next time, folks. Stay sane.